Hey everyone! In this video, we're going to answer the intriguing question posed by one of our patrons. The question is, did God create humans, or were we here before Adam? This question comes from a series of questions that we got about the age of the earth and the age of the universe. And this particular question seems to be one that people are really interested in. So let's talk about it. The traditional view among Christians who believe the Bible is literally true is that the earth was created in 6 days, and that the first humans, Adam and Eve, were created shortly before the creation of the world that we live in today. Now, there are many different views on how old the earth is. Some believe it's only thousands of years old, and others believe it's only hundreds of thousands or even billions of years old. But the common belief among those who take the Genesis account literally is that there were no humans alive before Adam. However, there are some problems with taking this view. The first problem is that the Genesis account itself says that God created the land and everything in it, including humans, all within 6 days. There are multiple places in Genesis that indicate that there were other living creatures on the earth before Adam. For example, in Genesis 2:7, it says that God formed the man from the dust of the ground and breathed the breath of life into his nostrils. And then in the next verse it says that the Garden of Eden was planted by a river, and that river flowed out from Eden and watered the garden, and there it divided and became 4 rivers. And so there were other things that existed before Adam, like the land, the river, and the garden. Now if we take the Genesis account literally, then we would have to conclude that Adam was the first human ever created by God, because the passage doesn't say anything about any other humans that existed before him. However, there are a few ways we could interpret the Genesis account that would allow for other humans to have been created before Adam. First of all, we could argue from the Genesis account alone that God created other humans at the same time that he created Adam. In Genesis 2:22, it says that the Lord God said, "It is not good for the man to be alone. I will make him a helper fit for him." And then, in the next verse, it says that the Lord God caused a deep sleep to fall upon the man, and while he slept took one of his ribs, and closed up the place with flesh. And the rib that the Lord God had taken from the man, he made into a woman and brought her to the man. So this passage says that God created Eve after he created Adam, but it also says that God created the woman from the man. So it's possible that the process worked in reverse, and that God created Adam from a pre-existing human. Another way we could interpret the Genesis account to allow for humans to have existed before Adam is to understand the passage that talks about the creation of Adam as an example of a miraculous event. Just because something happened supernaturally doesn't mean that ordinary natural processes couldn't be happening at the same time. So it's possible that Adam was created supernaturally, but there were other humans that were created through natural means. But there's another possibility here too. Perhaps the Genesis account is talking specifically about the creation of the first human couple and not the creation of humanity as a whole. That is to say that Adam and Eve were the first humans created, but other humans may have been created later. For example, in the Book of Jubilees, which is part of the ancient Jewish text known as the Apocrypha, it says that Adam and Eve had other children besides Cain, Abel, Seth, and the rest. It says that they had other sons and daughters who became the ancestors of other human beings. So it's possible that the Genesis account of the creation of Adam and Eve is simply a summary of a much longer and more complex story. That explains how God created the first human couple and how they had children who populated the earth. So what do you think? Do you think there were humans on the earth before Adam? Or do you think Adam and Eve were the first humans created by God? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Thanks for watching. Be sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on any of our videos. And be sure to check out our other videos as well, like our series on the evidence for the existence of God. Thanks for watching.